Welcome to Remnant 101 at the City on a Hill Church. I'm Associate Pastor Benji Lalean. God's remnant recognizes that separation is for our own good. We have a couple of verses that I do want to read in 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verses 17 and 18. Again, these are verses that we've read several times before. It says, "Therefore, come out from among them and be separate, says the Lord. Do not touch what is unclean, and I will receive you. I will be a father to you, and you shall be my sons and daughters, says the Lord Almighty." Now, of course, we make the purpose of everything that we do to be about pleasing God. That's what our focus needs to be on, and that's why we work so hard to separate and be holy, because we know that His Word reveals to us that pleases Him. And that certainly is covered when it says, in what I just read, that God said that if we come out from among them and be separate, we don't touch what is unclean. We've talked about that a lot. God will receive us, which of course means that we pleased Him enough to accept us. That's what our focus is on when separating. But what about God's purpose for us when it comes to separation? Our focus has to be on pleasing God by separation, but what does it do for us? Let's put a few pieces together. And I briefly want to mention that I'm not saying these things because they're things that we have to take care of or think about. They're reasons to separate even more, and assurance that when we do, God has them taken care of. First, let's look at what I read in 2 Corinthians in a slightly different perspective. When God says, "I will receive you," of course that means that we've pleased Him, which for us is the most important thing. And it also means that we benefit from that. That's the key word. We benefit from that. It ultimately is talking about our pathway to heaven. I mean, why wouldn't we want to be received by God? God gave a specific command here for us to follow with the intention and purpose of Him receiving and rewarding us with being with Him. Second, look at Adam and Eve. God started the whole process by separating them in the Garden of Eden and giving them a command to follow to hold their separation. While they were there, they had everything. God separated them from the very start, and from the very start, they were in paradise. They only lost it when they disobeyed and were kicked out as a result. That's why God sent Jesus, to give us a pathway to be holy by separating ourselves to be joint heirs with Christ after He died for us. But Jesus preached over and over again about what that means that we have to do to be worthy of Him, being His disciple, hating brother, sister, mother, father, everyone, even your own life, taking up your cross to follow Him daily. Following Him meant leaving everything and everyone else behind. That is separation. And speaking of Jesus, the last piece that I want to mention, and my dad mentioned this a couple of weeks ago too, is when Jesus said in John 10 about the thief coming to steal, kill, and destroy. But He came so that we could have life more abundantly. If Jesus said that, and He also said those things that we have to do to be worthy of Him, those things that ultimately make us separate, what does that mean? That means that because it coincides with following Jesus, separation is what keeps the enemy from stealing, killing, and destroying. Now, what do you get when you put all of those pieces together? Exactly what I said in the title. Separation is for our own good. God intends for us to benefit from separating. Our goal in separation is to please God, and God takes care of us as a result. There are a lot of other things and benefits that I could go into, but I'll finish by reminding you that these things are meant to be encouraging reminders of God's provision for those who obediently separate. And the most important of which that I haven't mentioned yet is specifically for us, God's remnant, during these last days, which is us being here to bring Jesus back. God bless you.